Hi, good morning. Welcome back. My name is Cynthia. I'm here to do a collective reading for us. Happy New Year. This is my first YouTube reading for the new year. I did it live on Instagram, which I hadn't done for several months actually, because once I migrated over here, I found this to be a lot friendlier to the types of uploads and things. Instagram's pretty limited, but what I noticed is that my capacity to go live on Instagram is way better than it is here for some reason. I don't know why that is. So I might do more live readings there because I like doing live readings, but I don't like the frustration of having to figure out all the ins and outs. And I already have a lot of those in here with just trying to get this reading off the ground with the heater, my setup, the background. I mean, it's just a lot. And then to have the live, like the last YouTube reading I did live, it then was unavailable for 3 days for some weird reason. I don't know if it's because of the subject matter I was discussing, which is political a little bit and controversial, even though it's to me not political. It was just human rights. But regardless, I'm just sending love out there. And this is going to be a reading specifically about, or for people who have been feeling either like prevented or stuck in some kind of a karmic cycle or karmic loop. And the feeling is not so much that you are like, what am I doing wrong? But it's like, why am I being slowed down? Or why are people working against my growth? Or why, you know, you might be feeling kind of like in my own experience, for example, when I started, I had a dark night of the soul happen about, let's see, I guess about 4 years ago now, but I've had others. This was another one. And through the dark night of the soul and the spiritual process that I've been going through over the last 4 years, it's been brutal at times in terms of my relationships. Like people that have been in my life forever that I've recognized, like, wow, I really trusted them. And now I see, you know, that they, I don't know, whatever, have not felt the same, I guess. I'll just kind of leave it at that. And that can look in a myriad of ways. For me, it has been really intense. And I mean, I made left my career. Didn't really leave my career. I'm still doing clinical social work, but I've turned the way I do it really on its head. In a way that I never thought I would. And it's been really challenging at times because it required a lot of leaps of faith and continues to require a lot of leaps of faith on my part to keep my clinical social work practice going and afloat and growing and rewarding, not just where I'm working myself into the ground and replicating what I was trying to get away from by leaving a job, right? So there's a lot of stuff like that in the air. And New Year's can have a lot of emphasis put on them about, oh, new year, new you, resolutions, blah, blah, blah. Well, for me, I can feel a big shift coming, not just for me, but for a lot of people. And I can feel it building and building and building, and then it will feel blocked and stuck and, you know, like the crabs in a barrel feeling of like I'm moving forward and something grabs me and pulls me back down, and then I have to tie up that loose end and figure out that boundary, and then I can move forward again and I start getting momentum and then something else, right? The crabs in the barrel feeling is really strong here, which is what prompted me to do the reading, is that I think that you're feeling like that, or this reading is for people who are feeling like that they can't, like, why won't people let me go, right? Or why won't these relationships, I don't know why. And it's a lot of it is just within us, right? Like we're just growing beyond a certain place that we were in our lives, and that comes with a lot of change, including in relationships, or a lot of revelatory experiences of like, I really trusted this person and now it's evident to me that I can't. And a lot of mine, to just be real for a second and share personally, a lot of mine have been intuitive. So that is even another layer of confusion, because if you have an intuitive understanding that somebody is no longer wanting what's best for you, or in that crabs in a barrel energy for you, to feel that intuitively, it's another thing to be like, okay, and now I'm going to take steps to reduce this person's access to me, or remove myself out of their life. you know, if someone's going to come to me and be like, why, I don't understand. What am I supposed to say? I just intuitively can tell that you're, you know, there's weird layers like that are presenting challenges to these kinds of decisions. One that I'm in is I'm in a contract with somebody that our time is over. We don't need to be in a contract anymore together. But for me to end the contract legally in the 3D means a lot of upheaval, not just for them, but for me and for other people who are going to be impacted. And that has come with a lot of anxiety. Like, how do I extract myself from this situation in a way that's fair, but that doesn't continue to abandon myself for the welfare of other people, right? Like, I have a right to assert here, and I'm going to assert it. And I'm sorry if it means that these other people are going to be inconvenienced. But what about my convenience, right? And my joy and my desire to cut a cord and move forward. I'm not doing anything unfair. I'm not trying to screw anybody over. I'm trying to just end the contract in a way that's fair and equitable for both people, where ideally both people can move forward in a better position. But for whatever reason, there's intense anxiety and resistance around it. Because for me, it feels like no matter how accommodating I'm trying to be, I don't feel often that that's happening on the other side of things. And so then it's like, well, is that just my 3D perspective? Am I an ego? Is it more of an intuition I need to listen to? So it's that kind of energy. So we're going to do a reading about that. What is the meaning, or what is the purpose of these obstacles? You know, some of it for me has been learn to be in flow, learn to stop forcing your way through an obstacle when it's not the right time. Sometimes it's allowing yourself to flow around the obstacle. Sometimes it's around patience to to figure out the right way to remove the obstacle, right? And I'm not a very patient person. Patience is a hard lesson for me, like it is for a lot of people. We're an instant gratification kind of culture in some ways. So what should we know? What is important for us to understand about either a karmic loop that we're having trouble breaking out of, or the crabs in the barrel feeling of people trying to interfere with your growth or you're moving away from them? That can happen in all kinds of relationships. Narcissistic relationships, addiction-based relationships, you know, just growing and changing and evolving on one side and maybe not the other, where the other person is enraged and feels it's personal when it isn't, you know, just stuff like that. Like, what should we know about that? What should we know about the obstacles that we're facing and that frustrated feeling of feeling like, why are these haters blocking me, right? Or why is this karmic person sending me so much negativity? Or what is it to them? What do they fucking care, right? Like, why does this person that hated me in a work site years ago still continue to fuck with my energy? Stuff like that, right? Like, why do they care? Why do they care? What is going on? So we have an ace card and 3 major arcanas here. Oops, where did I just set those glasses? So first off, it's important to know that this is not going to succeed. Whatever is in the way, and this is the consciousness and the motives of the obstacles. And in my experience, it's other people, right? Or institutions, which are made up of people doing work in concert for the institution itself, right? So your energy over here, you've got 2 major arcana cards here. In your mind, you're like, I'm moving towards my joy. I'm moving towards my growth. I'm moving towards clarity. I'm moving towards my sun, right? This is you doing the work for yourself to advance your life in the direction that you feel called to. You're really in alignment with your soul's path is kind of what I'm picking up here, because in your heart center, it's a judgment day. There is no going back. You've been on a spiritual or an emotional journey of healing and making changes to be in more alignment with what's going to make you happy, right? Over on this side, there's not as much power, but it is powerful. There's an ace here. These are the obstacles. These are the folks, the karmic relationships, institutions, whatever. In their mind, for whatever reason, they're opportunistic over it. They see this as an opportunity for them mentally in some way, and they're really, catalyzed by whatever is going on for you. And in their heart center, is this the 8 of Wands here? Yeah, they're sending a lot of energy, fire-based energy at you. So they are, and this is, to me, strikes to being very, very fire dominant, fire element dominant, which there's nothing wrong with fire element. I embrace my fire element. Like, I'm a Leo, I'm very fiery. So, but there's something about like opportunism here, okay? So people are seeing, or institutions are seeing what is going on for you as an opportunity for them in some way. And we'll get clarity, but I can kind of feel the taking energy a little bit, or the kind of energy that almost threatens to try to burn you down. Like they want you to burn, or they want, they don't want you to succeed in some way, right? And so if this is not resonating with you, this is not your reading. This is for people who are feeling like this, okay? So this isn't about trying to make you start worrying, oh my God, who's working? It's not, if this isn't already resonating, it's not for you. So the thread that's running through this oppositional dynamic that can feel karmic is love, a fear of being left out, and a desire. Okay, so it's the crabs in the barrel feeling. The Knight of Cups, the 5 of Pentacles, and the 7 of Pentacles. So they see you moving in a heart-based direction and doing it with a lot of sort of gallantry and speed and honesty and integrity. A Knight of Cups is a knight that's fighting for what they believe in the realm of the heart, right? They carry, in the Aleister Crowley deck, he's carrying the Grail, right? As he's riding forward, it's very Grail almost imagery in that card. So these folks see, you could even make this, as if you want to make it biblical, like the fires of hell, right? Or something, but it's not biblical for everyone, right? It's not even for me necessarily. So that's being witnessed, that you're moving forward in the arena of the heart. You're not afraid. You have the courage. You're riding forward. It's a judgment day. You understand Don Quixote just came through. People were leeches of Don Quixote, right? They liked to be around him and find him entertaining, but they also judged him as a lunatic, as a madman, right? He had a loyal companion, but for the most part, people marveled with amusement and kind of judgment at him for following his own light and riding forward. And he had to start over the over the first half of the book trying to discern, like, who is really wanting to help me and who is mocking me and who is using me as a source of entertainment. That's really coming through. And it's because of this card right here. It all of a sudden took on this quixotic element, right? Of these people are in a situation where if they see you succeed, it makes them feel like they're going to be left behind or left out, or there's resentment around that, right? Like, if you go for a dream and you succeed and other folks are too afraid to go for their dreams, it creates stuff like this, a fear of being left behind and a feeling of envy and wanting back into your light and wanting you to stay with them, working, never achieving your harvest. That's kind of the energy. But the energy for you is that your harvest is coming. You're tired, though. I can feel it because I'm tired. I'm tired of hitting these obstacles and having to have the discipline to work through it, especially alone. I feel often like I'm working through all of these obstacles alone. I have friendships, but they're in their own lives and their own struggles and their own journey. And it's not for me to be like, I need that, you know, they've got to follow their path, right? So for me and for us in this reading, it can be extremely frustrating to be like, I'm not trying to interfere with you. I'm trying to move forward in my own life. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. This is me following my own path, my own heart's judgment day, my own recognition that I need something different in order to feel in alignment with my life's work and my soul. It's not personal. It's not a rejection, but these folks, it's personal. They're feeling left behind, resentful, crabs in the barrel energy. They want to burn it down. They see it as an opportunity maybe to try to prove to you that you're being naive. That can happen when someone thinks that, let's say you're leaving a romantic relationship and the other party is convinced that they are best for you and that this relationship is best for you and that you're being crazy or that you're being a fool for trying to leave. It's that kind of energy, right? No, we want to pull you back. We don't want you to go. It's that kind of stuff. And it can be really challenging because living in accordance with this is hard if you're doing it alone. It can feel like a very lonely road. And I'm picking that up for us here. Like, why? What is it fucking to you? Like, go live your fucking life and let me live mine. I'm sorry for any of the pain it caused, right? But it's not, I don't owe you, right? This is the kind of energy of, also feeling, I had this happen a little bit in my job sites before I decided to just leave employment altogether and become self-employed and do my own contracting work directly with clients and their insurance provider. Unfortunately, I would love to have clients that we just exchange fee for service and insurance isn't involved, but it doesn't really work like that, at least not for me yet. So there's been a lot of, you know, haters that secretly envy the fact that I've had the courage to do this, or else they think that I'm in a privileged position to be able to do this, and I am in some degrees, but also it takes courage. I'm broke, right? Like, I don't know how long it's going to take for me to fill back in the black where I don't have to worry anymore. So it's stuff like that. It's like, if you don't have the courage to make these changes yourself, the feeling from you is stop hating on me. Leave me alone, right? Like, I'm moving forward. And I can kind of feel that they see this as an opportunity to pull you back in, like I said. So let's pull some more cards now. What about the Seven of Pentacles, where the energy is headed? It's helpful to know here that you're in Major Arcana energy. The Ace feels powerful, though. The Ace often hovers over a reading, so it feels often like you're being thwarted by powers that maybe are as strong as you or stronger. As strong as your motivation is to move forward and make these changes and you're not going back, it can feel equally like these people are as motivated to stop you, or this institution is as motivated to stop you, right? What should we know about the Seven of Pentacles here? Regeneration. Yeah, and that Seven of Pentacles is a harvest card. It's a card of bringing in. Let's see what the regeneration says here. Because as you can see, it's a tree that, you know, it's being reborn. It's regenerating itself. And that's energy for you. 46. So I'm going to read the reversal, even though it didn't come in the reverse, because I'm picking up also on the energy of tension with the Seven as much as the productive forward momentum that you have. Because the Seven is also, you're working, you're willing to do the work, you're doing it. You're getting weary at times, like, when is my ship going to come in, right? So, endings come in many forms, and now is the time to stop holding on to what must die so that something better can take its place. And you know that. You're already well aware and on your way. Nature's cycles include disease, decay, death, and regeneration. Let whatever isn't working in your life die. Don't be afraid to face the facts. There is no need to struggle or grieve. Whatever your query, let it go. You're about to be reborn. So that's really important to know. It's important to know that this is affirming for you. The world is based on connections and relationships. No matter what loss has occurred in the past or even now, death and endings are only illusions. This is life after death, love after loss, and in this moment, you are radiating the regenerative life force energy that makes you irresistible to love in all forms. Now is the time when you will see evidence of this new emergence. Can you feel it? Love is rising up to greet you. And that's that energy we were just talking about of something is happening, something is growing. A lot of people can feel it, not just me. I see people online talking about it. Like, I feel like something huge is about to happen, right? I keep hearing that. So it might be that this layout is also picking up on the collective energy of that for us as a collective. I'm going to bring this up. It's going to seem like I'm endorsing a conspiracy theory, but I think it's important that you do your own research around it. You may already know about this, but this is something I just learned about. And it's this history. It's a conspiracy theory, but there's history that confirms a lot of it. That there was invented an apparatus or a machine back in the 60s that was developed by scientists and clergy within the Vatican that can look back in time. It doesn't transport the people back into time, but it creates a window in time that people can look in. And they did experiments with it. And the ultimate result, according to this history, is that the people involved became frightened of the implications because they didn't understand the power that they were dabbling in, and so they decided to dismantle it. It's called the Chronovision, and you can Google it. I just watched it. There's this channel on YouTube called Mr. Mythos, and he explores these kinds of things, these esoteric and conspiracy type ideas, but he does it from a foundation of, like, I want to look at the actual evidence, not perpetuate a conspiracy theory that shouldn't be perpetuated. And there's a lot of evidence about the chronovision out there. And I just watched his video about it last night. So it's really interesting. And it came at the same time that another card reader was talking about the Pope opening up a portal at the Vatican. And I'm like, what the fuck? You know, right? Because I've never really been a conspiracy theorist. But I remember noticing that. I was like, that's a wild thing to pick up on. I wonder what is... I mean, she didn't really strike me as someone to think that way either. And she was even saying, you know, y'all, this isn't going to be for everybody. This is just what I'm picking up. Some kind of, you know, there was also something going on at CERN, she felt like, which is a scientific location in Europe that involves, you know, quantum physics, quantum mechanics, all that stuff, experiments. There's been some weird shit that has happened at CERN in the last few years, like where they created some kind of bizarre cloud formation over them. Like, there's been concern, like, that we're tapping into something that could cause a lot of harm, possibly. I don't know where that came from. That just came through, though. I don't even know what got me on that tangent. But if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I recommend that video because I found it really interesting. And there's a lot of evidence out there about it. It's not just whispers. There's like documented stuff about it, right? What else should we know about this? Your realness is rare. So that's, you know that. You're getting more and more confident in that all the time. That's why this Sun card, you're trusting yourself. You may have been on a long journey of having to sort through, can I trust myself? Are these intuitive nudges and guidances I'm receiving, are they psychotic or are they true accounts of what's going on around me? And I'm now learning to trust that intuitive body, right, of wisdom. Your realness is rare. You're trusting yourself. There was a before and after. It's challenged even your own belief systems, right? Blend in, shapeshifter. That's going to be hard because you're shining like the sun and it's a judgment day for you. But it might help a little bit right now to be a little bit lower key. Blend in, so you maybe as a defense mechanism, like a chameleon, right? You don't need to be out there on blast all the time, and it might help diffuse a little bit of this fire that's being directed at you. You're safe and cherished, you're loved. Judgment Day, that's a Judgment Day energy. Because you've been willing to do this work for your soul's growth, you're safe, you're cherished and loved. God, this card has been coming up so much lately, almost in every single reading. Truly, even since I created this deck. So there must be a message in it for me too that I'm maybe missing. How does your inner warrior perceive surrender? So it can be it can be important to remember to conserve your energy and surrender at times. Let this fire come at you, whatever, surrender. You don't always have to be shielding or fighting it off or resisting or trying to blow through it. I just saw an image of when people were making the Beacon Rock Trail and the Eagle Creek Trail where I live. That is a project of the Civilian Conservation Corps, and it put a lot of people back to work in the United States during the Great Depression, but it caused a lot of environmental destruction, right? Like they took Beacon Rock, which is a beautiful sacred place, and blasted a trail into it using dynamite and stuff. Same with some of the roads that run along the Columbia Gorge and the trail that takes you to Eagle Creek, you know, that takes you up and down Eagle Creek. Have I availed myself of those things? Totally. I've climbed Beacon Rock. In fact, my great uncle was part of the CCC that created the Beacon Rock Trail. He worked on it. So I'm not saying that like, oh, I'm so against that I would never even hike that trail. You know, it's not anything like that. Don't be dogmatic, but it's acknowledging something about blasting through can cause too much destruction, maybe. And again, the Eagle Creek fire is coming, or the Eagle Creek is coming through because of the fire that happened at Eagle Creek and destroyed a lot of the plant life. It's regenerating, but it brought a lot of sorrow to a lot of people because it's such a special place and such a beautiful place, that for that destruction to be caused by a careless kid who threw a firework off the side during a really dry summer, it just created massive levels of destruction, right? So surrender. How does your inner warrior perceive surrender? There's going to be times where Judgment Day, you know, it's important to remember Judgment Day energy is bigger than you. You may be conscious of the Judgment Day energy that you're living within and in alignment with and okay with, but it's also beyond you. You're not the source of the Judgment Day, right? You're just acting in accordance with it. So that's important to know. What else? What else? What should we know about? I'm going to do just a little bit of scrying here. But you can trust your perceptions here. Your realness is rare, but right now it's okay to blend in and surrender and let this Judgment Day or whatever energy is happening that's bigger than us, allow it to happen and know that you're safe through it because you're being true to yourself, right? You're not selling yourself out for the needs of other people or endorsing their belief that you should stay with them when you feel called to go away or go beyond it, right? Live and let live, as the AA, you know, slogan says. I don't know why more people can't live in that energy. Just live and let live. What else? So I've been seeing this a lot lately. There's some sort of, I don't know if this is for me or if it's for all of us to be paying attention to, but it's something about a rabbit and a pink rabbit. I saw it in a vision, first off, several days ago, and it was not a friendly. You know, you think, oh, pink rabbit, cute, right? But it wasn't. It was hostile, like a signature of somebody that was a magical practitioner. And it's showing up here in this card. So you might be feeling watched, or that there's some sort of spiritual interference with what you're doing. You might be somebody that, yeah, I'm seeing, oh my God, the hand that's grabbing this ball of sun, it's coming through here. It's a hand grabbing out from this rabbit. So there's something about that that might have relevance for you. Or hair spirit, hair energy. And staining, that came through yesterday when I was feeling that energetic interference. I have a hater that sends me a lot of evil eye, and they'll send me energy that I can feel, that's like literally interfering with my ability to do my banking or to, you know, stuff like that. That's super stupid. Like, it doesn't stop me. It's annoying, but it doesn't, you know, whatever. There's something like that. I don't know why it's a rabbit though. I don't know. Watership Down might have meaning. If you've ever read Watership Down, that's definitely a story that captures a lot of these themes. I did a post a while back on Blue Sky sort of honoring Gloria Steinem's work when she went undercover at the Playboy Club in, I don't know if it was the one in Chicago, but I posted a picture of that. And it's almost like after I posted that picture was when the rabbit and the bunny started being like a big theme that I was channeling in my meditation and stuff. And just here it is again. I even had a conversation with another reader in a dream about this bunny, right? So I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's bizarre, but I'm just going to say it because it's here. I'll pull some Crowley about that. But whatever it is, it's not necessarily friendly, okay? It's just something to be aware of. It's the crabs in the barrel energy. It's like somebody or some energy of hostility that you're feeling. For me, it's showing up in this reading as a pink bunny. So disguise could be, it could be that they're showing up in a package that seems cute and harmless, but wrong. It's the bunny from Donnie Darko, right? Or something like that. Or like in Poltergeist, that clown doll. Like the clown doll always looks scary to me, but it's meant to be, oh, cute, kid's clown toy that is decor in my little girl's room. Wrong, it's this crazy clown doll that got possessed by the poltergeist and was starting to try to attack the family. It's something like that. It's not to be worried about because you're safe and cherished, you're loved, but just I'm going to acknowledge it because it's here. What about this rabbit? Yeah, it's negative. It's the Seven of Swords here. It's something that's reaching. It's got grabby, like this is like clingy hands, grabbing, right? Like crabs in the barrel, pulling you down. It's that energy. I mean, you can't make it up. It's the Seven of Swords. When I said, tell me more about this bunny energy, I don't know what it is. I'm hoping it's going to reach whoever. I mean, and the Playboy Mansion, everything that was always sort of reported to be so fun, excess, women empowerment. Like Hugh Hefner was somebody that tried to kind of say like, I'm in alignment with feminism. I believe in women's sexual liberation. But then now we're finding out all these kind of shady things that went on in the Playboy Mansion, right? Same with Diddy and his white parties. It's something like that. That's what it is. We're kind of zeroing in on it. In fact, I just had, like, I had gotten approved to get training to do from a liberation group called Haymarket Pole Collective. They approved me to get training to be of service to local folks in the sex work industry, right? Provide them therapy, and I would be reimbursed directly by this group. I was super honored. I was really excited. I was supposed to start this coming month. But as time went forward and it was getting closer, I started feeling in my body like it's just not right. It's not right for you. I'm an assault survivor. Many sex workers, by default of the risks in that profession, have been assaulted. And so I started recognizing, as much as I want to do this, it's not my path. I can feel it in my body. So I wanted to do it, though. That's why I pursued it so actively. But then once I'm getting it, I'm like, no, I can feel it's not right. So I was sad. I had to reach out to them like 3 weeks ago and say, as honored as I am that you've been willing to work with me to get this training, I can feel in my own body that it's not going to be right, because I'm a trauma survivor, and in some trauma dynamics with clients, I have too much trouble differentiating between my trauma and theirs. And it's important that I recognize that, and recognize, like, I could do harm if I'm not conscious of what my limits are as a social worker. So I just owned it and said, I'm really sad and I'm really sorry, but I can't, it's not going to be right for me or for the clients, right? So I don't know how that has meaning. What else about this over here? What about this Ace of Wands? Why in the consciousness of these obstacles or institutions or people, why is it so fiery? Like, why is it that Ace of Wands, that they see this as an opportunity? Is that what it is? Or they feel compelled to try to create destruction around it? I don't know. What is it? Yeah, interesting. It's like they see the inner light that you're emanating and exuding because you've done the inner work to go within and follow your own light, and it's bringing you into accordance with your soul's path and a greater calling for you. They see that. They see that you've been willing to do this hermit energy work to empower yourself. They see that your realness is rare. They see your authenticity. They want it. They want to, it's like maybe a come up kind of, like they want to come in and try to collaborate in some way with the Six of Wands energy. Again, it's fire. Again, it's fire, but it's like they're wanting to come in with that fire energy and slow you down with this Four of Swords for some reason. I don't know why that is. Why? Why the Four of Swords? Why? Those don't strike me as super nefarious, even though I was kind of picking up on this nefarious energy with this evil bunny type Donnie Darko figure, right? I don't know what that's about, but, you know, what... Why the Four of Swords here? What's the Four of Swords? Truce? Well, in the Crowley deck, it's called Truce. And so maybe they're going to come in and try to, you know, put something in a nice package. Like, hey, let's collaborate. Let's work together. I'm this cute, harmless bunny, right? Like, I like your way of being, and I want to collaborate, and I want to create a truce energy, because they see that you're onto something, that you're following your light. They see that your authenticity is rare. They don't want to do the work. They don't want to do the work that you did. They want to access you so that they can benefit from your work, but they're not necessarily wanting to do the work. So that can mean a few different things, but it doesn't, like, if they're coming to you for help, then that is doing the work. But if they're coming to you to say, oh, I do that too, let's collaborate, that's the warning. That's the warning, because they don't want to do the work. They want to benefit from your work. That's the opportunism that I was picking up on. So that's everywhere, right? Like, that's all over the world. People stealing your idea, people plagiarizing your work, people, you know, dressing themselves up like you to take what you have, your authenticity, right? It's that. They don't want to do the work. It's that energy that you need to watch out for. So, and again, it's coming through that your intuition can tell you. I've learned to trust my intuition finally, because it kept bearing out over and over, because my intuition would tell me about somebody and I would be like, oh no, that can't be. I know better. My ego knows better. I know that person. Well, then I would turn out to be right. Like a couple months later, I would find out like, oh man, really? You know, so it's that. Like, I finally am like, okay, I don't need to be shown anymore. I'm just going to listen to my intuition, and I don't owe anyone anything. And if it hurts someone, I'm sorry, but I'm just following my own instincts, and I'm setting really hard boundaries, even if it's just intuitive guidance only that I'm receiving, right? What else about this regenerative energy that's in the outcome with the Seven of Pentacles, the harvest that's coming? What else should we know about that? God, my ring light. I have the cheapest ring light. Like, it didn't even make it 20 minutes and it's already almost dead. I need to get a better one. I just need to be out of here. That's my frustration, is that this contract here is overdue, and I'm trying to be grateful and appreciate what I can about it here, but it's hard because I can feel that it's my time to go, right? So it's that duality of trying to be patient, trying to know when to rest and not try to push through anything, and then when to take action again, right? To extract myself from this. So you're going to have to watch out for illusion as you go through this regenerative process, because we have the Seven of Pentacles and now we have the Seven of Cups. So it's going to be knowing the discerning difference between generating your own harvest and somebody coming in to be like, no, you want to harvest my fields. You don't want to do your own thing. You want to harvest my fields, right? No. The Priestess. So that can mean you're in this High Priestess energy, and you are going to have the discernment required because you're already in the Sun and Judgment Day energy. And the Emperor, yeah, that's your path. You're following your path towards your own empowerment, your own authority, your own spiritual guidance, and your own wisdom. That's what's bringing you your regeneration. And you're going to be able to see right through the illusion here with the Seven of Cups and this debauch-like energy from the Crowley deck. You're going to be able to tell. The challenge might be being okay with it, right? Like letting a relationship go without a lot of explanation, but just finding your own peace with that. And being okay with that person may not have the full story of why you're letting it go, or, you know, maybe you're going to go ahead and give them the full story. It's really up to you, because you're moving into Emperor High Priestess status here, following your soul's growth, allowing a judgment day to occur in relationships that feel no longer for you. It's been brutal. You've had to do a lot of going within and trusting your own light, but that's what's attracting people. They see the authenticity and they want to attach themselves to it so that they can benefit in some way for their own opportunity. Ouch, I just pinched myself. So now what I'm going to do is pull some ungame cards. Yeah, Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck. So it's like you, them, and then they want that third energy. They want to be a part of the third energy between you. And you're being advised to watch out for that, right? And use the discernment around it. I had a friend once decide to go way out on a limb, and like I did, they left their job, went way out on a limb, bought a business, and was willing to do the work of like, because I bought this business, I have to work here every day of the week. I don't have as much free time anymore. And they went for it, right? It was a big leap of faith that they took. And it's surprising how many people were discouraging about it. Like, oh my God, what are they thinking? Like, that's crazy. But it's because it means giving up a lot of security if you decide to do that. You know, it's it's a big financial risk that so many people don't want to take, me included. For many years, I was like, I would never start my own business. I don't want the stress that goes with that. Well, surprise, the universe was like, nope, that's not going to be how it goes for you. The universe made my professional employment life so stressful that I was like, no, now it is going to be my salvation to go out on my own and get away from this, right? It's really turned my own perspectives on their ear. But I had to listen to that intuition and stop listening to my ego fears that were like, you're never going to make it. You don't know how to run a business. You don't know what you're doing. How are you going to bill insurance? You don't even understand the insurance. All of those doubts I had to work through. And my friend, I just remember being surprised at the lack of enthusiasm that people had for them taking a risk like that. But really, what else are we here for? Trying to follow a dream and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If my channel never grows into anything beyond a couple hundred subscribers, so what? It's filling me and my soul, right? Talk about something beautiful you saw this week. Oh man, that is so perfect, because that's where your focus can be, is on the beautiful signs that you see, synchronicities that you see, people that you see that inspire you to keep going. Focus on that. Don't focus on these people trying to pull you back into the barrel, right? Focus on the beauty that you're creating and seeing and having the vision for, because you are willing to follow your own light and go within, right? I know for me, one thing is I'm going to exhibit at a conference for social work, and I'm really excited about it. It's meant going out on a limb though and asking people for help financially through GoFundMe, and I've never done that before, and I never thought I would. But finally I was like, why not? I've contributed a ton to other people's GoFundMes. Why wouldn't I be allowed to start my own? So I did. And I've been focusing on the beauty of finding, and seeing my friends that support this endeavor and are excited for me and want to lend a hand, right? That's beautiful. Focusing on my work and my exhibiting images that I'm going to bring with me to this conference. I love how they came out. That's something beautiful, right? Like, it's continuing to follow my own light, is showing me the beauty of what's to come. So that's really cool. Share something you enjoy doing with your family. So that's going to be important too, is to be paying attention to what does family activity feel like for you. Where are you going? Are you going with family, and this includes soul family, that makes you feel good and that brings you enjoyment? Or are you spending time with family that is more in this energy, right? That's might be not wanting you to succeed. My siblings and I have a different biological mother. And their mother, I remember my dad telling me, she was pretty narcissistic. I would even say verging into sociopathy. She's no longer with us, and I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead, but she did a lot of harm. And I remember my dad saying one of the harms that she caused was that she didn't want to see her children succeed more than she had, right? And so she did things deliberately to discourage them from succeeding. You don't need to go to school. Who cares about school? You don't need to go. I didn't graduate, right? So she kept her kids home from school specifically because of those reasons. That's a really narcissistic way of looking at your own children, right? Like, you don't want your own children to grow beyond what you could achieve. That is narcissism, right? It's something like that. So paying attention to family that makes you feel uplifted and supported, and being willing to let go of or have boundaries with people who only see this as an opportunity. Because what I'm picking up on is that, as much as they may not want to admit it, these folks are drawn to your authenticity and your light. And so that might be why it's creating all this weird chaos, where some of it is they're sending hateful energy. Others maybe seeing you as a come up, right? It's that Seven of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles is just showing us the need to have discernment going forward. But you're in High Priestess Emperor status, so the discernment is not going to elude you. You already have it, is kind of what I'm picking up on. there just might be some disappointment with it. There has been for me, right? As I continue to realize, you know, I thought this was my path. I went into these things with, you know, goodwill and good faith that I was doing what I thought was right for me. And it was hard when I realized it's no longer right for me, because it was sad for me. And it also meant hurting other people. And who wants to do that? If you're a caring person, you don't want to. But the danger becomes, now am I living for other people and living, you know, my only life purpose is to fulfill the dreams of other people? Hell no. When I finally started realizing you have a right to live and to go your own way, as long as you're not being abusive, you know, so I did what I could to try to ease the harm that I might be causing, or apologize and accept accountability for what I didn't see at the time. Why I went into an agreement only to realize it was the wrong agreement. People do that all the time. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you're a liar or that you know, it just means you're human. We all have those experiences, right? So this is a caution not to let other people guilt you into not following your own light, right? Especially if you're doing it as kindly and as ethically as you can, and not stomping on people to get your dream to come true. And I mean, it's not meant for me to preach that at you, but I'm just acknowledging it. Like, I don't mean to say, like, do whatever the fuck. You don't owe anyone anything. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say, right? But, you know, I feel like I don't need to qualify that. So, I think that is all for this reading. I'll pull an animal card because I love these. What's an animal energy that can be a good companion? Because sometimes the road is lonely when you're making this kind of change, right? So what kind of animal can be a good companion for you that help you feel supported? Something else just came through about that hare and rabbit imagery. There are symbols of sex and abundance and fertility. And so there's something to do with people, again, wanting the success, fertility, and abundance that you're generating in a way, right? And it was interesting, Gloria Steinem, when she did that undercover experiment, a lot of the feedback she got was about how beautiful she was, not about the things that she was uncovering about the Playboy Club itself. And then it even became a little bit of like a criticism where her beauty meant that she couldn't really be an authentic feminist or something. And so she had to really sort through a lot of that over her life's work, about this sort of unanticipated blowback that would come for her as somebody with beauty who also had brains, or I don't know, you know, I can't speak for her, but squirrel. Balance, accumulation, preservation, expenditure, cheerfulness, carelessness, drive, instinct, and motivation. I love it. It's perfect. There's the warnings and the celebrations of squirrel energy. They're very wise planners for times of lack and during the winter months when there aren't fruits everywhere, right? They do a lot of storing away. They persevere through the winter. They have really cheerful and sunny dispositions. Carelessness, though, I love. You can be a little careless if you're too cheery, right? You need to also have connection to your instincts and your balance. And one more. What other animal? And a squirrel is not a huge animal. So where it was saying blend in, people go about their lives not noticing squirrels all the time. And meanwhile, they're these amazing little creatures, right? It's okay to be okay with that for now. Turtle at the bottom of the deck, which is a very sacred animal. Monkey. Cute. Shrewdness, inquisitiveness, mischief, youth, affection, good nature, conceit, self-deception, and immaturity. So they're kind of echoes of similar, but they're both very shrewd, wise, discerning little creatures. But they're vulnerable. They have vulnerabilities just like any creature embodied in the earth plane, right? So that is going to do it. I'll just burn a little bit more of this here before I go. And if you don't follow me on Instagram and want to check lives, I might be doing lives more there for a while just because it's so much easier. They upload right away for the most part. They're not as glitchy. I don't feel as at the mercy of Instagram when I'm doing the live. YouTube, I don't even understand why it took my last video so long to upload. It was frustrating for me, actually. It was like, well, why did I do this if the video's never going to show up and I don't know where it is? Like, what happened? And then finally it showed up days later, and it kind of felt after the fact, you know, except for the people that caught the reading, but I don't know. Regardless, my Instagram is Cardinal Rose Tarot, and I have lots of readings posted there, including a live that I just did. So I'm sending you much love and respect. Take good care of yourselves, and don't worry about those crabs in the barrel.